G'day and welcome to Marc and Cars, Porsche Talk Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things Porsche, from air-cooled, water-cooled, rear engine, front engine, even mid-engine. There'll be something here for you. But most importantly, we're going to talk to the people who are passionate about our favourite brand. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen today, and if you've got any input, suggestions, comments, anything, please send me a message. You'll be able to catch me on nearly all social media platforms as Marc and Cars, or just send me an email. Anyway, let's get on with the podcast. So welcome to today's episode, our first episode of Porsche Talk, and today's guest is Simon.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here, Marc, and welcome to everyone listening around the globe from wherever you are. Yes, I'm Simon, and I am the person behind 911 Culture, which is an online, semi-blog, semi-magazine website. I set it up about 2 years ago, or just after 2 years ago, as a bit of a hobby, a creative outlet. I'm an accountant by day, which is pretty damn boring. So
hang on, let's just stop there for 1 second. Did you just say an accountant?
Yes, I'm an accountant.
You've got an alarming level of social skills for someone in that background. I can see why you needed this outlet.
Yeah, I guess so, yes. But accounting, the only way you can be creative in accounting is to do things that are a bit dodgy and illegal. So I try to steer clear of that.
I believe the term's grey. Grey is the...
Grey, that's correct. The grey areas of accounting, yes. So, I enjoy a bit of photography and a bit of video creation, and I did do the YouTube thing for a little bit, but I found I didn't like being in front of the camera, and I just couldn't get used to it, and it was kind of holding back what I could create, and so I kind of gave that away, and I wasn't necessarily looking for something to replace that, but I was just finding I was meeting a lot of people socially, because I'm quite active within the Porsche community.
Great.
Coming across a lot of really cool people, really cool cars. And I'd kind of been noticing that in other publications, whether they be print or video, online, whatever, they were targeting certain types of people, or often the same people. You'd see them in multiple publications, and I'd kind of, it was good stuff. You know, you'd see like a collector that had a dozen different rare cars or whatever. You say, yeah, that's great, but I can't really relate to that. And I kind of thought that, you know, all these people that I'm meeting, all these great cars, they've got stories as well that are just as interesting as these people that are getting featured out there. Yeah. And because I've met them and know them either personally or through Instagram or whatever, you know, I could tap into them and, you know, get their story out there, which is why I kind of did it. And with that Instagram thing as well, you know, you scroll through all the photos and everything, you see lots of cool stuff, but you don't really know what's going on behind the story, you know. Someone might post a photo of a trip up in the Alps or something or other, and I kind of think, well, I wonder what they did for the whole trip. Which roads did they take, and
fantastic.
You know, where they stay, all that sort of thing. And so I just had this brainwave that I would create this online magazine. You know,
it's great. Well, firstly, congratulations on it. I think it's a fantastic product that you're producing. It's first class. It's like, to me, I'm a big fan of print product. I love the touchy-feely, as expensive as that medium is becoming to have. And, as a Porsche fan, I'm sure you're aware of the products that are out there in the marketplace. But the point you've brought up is, and part of the appeal to me of what you produce is, I guess, it's not just about the zillionaires, you know, so it does produce, you know, to me, interesting reading. And the fact that, you know, often you've had the actual articles written by the owners of the cars. So that in itself, I think it's good to see different personalities come out, because I'm sure you're, you know, very conscious of the fact that there's a very common writing style through a lot of publications, which is quite clear through, you know, the one or two people that are involved in it are writing all the articles. But look, if anybody's watching this podcast instead of just listening to it on YouTube, you'll notice a couple of cars behind Simon here. Let's talk about those.
Yeah, I thought I'd do this from the garage. It'll give you something more to talk about. So I'll start with the boring one on that side.
Sure.
It's not really boring, but it's base model 997 Mark 1 Carrera.
Sure.
No option Tiptronic. That's my daily drive. And
lovely.
Probably can't make it out, but it's a dark blue. I think it's called Ocean Blue or Motion Blue Metallic or something. Cannot remember. That's my daily drive. It's got a navy blue leather interior.
Love a blue on blue.
I do. The other one's blue on blue as well.
Oh,
I'll
fantastic.
get to that one. So that one I've done a couple of things to it just to get it the way I like it. So I upgraded the wheels to the 19-inch Carrera Classics over the standard 18. So they're people that don't know can't really see them there, but
is that that's a Fuchs style? Is that right?
5-spoke.
The 911 Classic wheels that you mentioned, are they like an homage to a Fuchs style wheel? Is that what type of wheel it is?
No, they're just a 5-spoke, a very plain 5-spoke. So they look very similar to the standard 997 wheels, but
are easier to clean because they've only got 5 spokes.
Much easier to clean. I can clean the insides and everything. Very
fantastic.
quickly. And the 19-inch wheels just feel the guards nicer on the 997. I've also fitted BC Racing coilovers on it, which are not as harsh as one might think. They're actually very comfortable coilover, but I can dial them up nice and stiff for when I hit the track, which I do in that car. And some dance sport mufflers. That's it really. And they're very mild sort of upgrade. They're not loud because I daily it. I don't want something too obnoxious.
Sure. Can you are you using the microphone on the computer itself at the moment?
I am, yes.
Yeah, it's quite faint, so I might have to see if I can up your volume somehow. Just for the recording, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what I can do there. Can you sit a bit closer to the computer by any chance? Is that possible? Yeah. Okay. Let's just see. Yeah, that's actually a bit better. Yeah.
I just don't. I kind of the glow on the from the light there.
Yeah,
anyway, that's all right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So and so you fitted these modifications to the 997. How long have you had it for?
Been two and a half years now. So long-term plans, I'm not sure. My kids still fit in it, and I reckon they've probably got another year or two. My oldest is 11.
Sure.
And all four of us still fit in it okay. We actually took it away on the weekend for a weekend away, and
where'd the luggage go?
Well, we were all allowed to take a backpack each.
Okay.
In the front there, and then a few things behind the back seat. So it actually did quite a bit there. Yeah, so we'll wait and see how long they go. But I'd like to keep it long term. It's a beautiful car. It's fun to drive. Great daily car, and it's a goodie.
Good one. Now I can see the one next to it doesn't have a radiator.
The one next to it doesn't. No. So that one there is a 3.2 Carrera factory turbo look. One of 40 in the country. For those who don't know what a turbo look Carrera is, it's a turbo body with turbo brakes, turbo suspension, but has the 3.2 Carrera engine in it rather than the turbo. So the only difference really is the engine, but it is a 3.2 Carrera, not a turbo, I guess. Very, very rare car, only 200 odd right-hand drive in the world. And another fun fact I just discovered recently is that there were less of those coupes built than the 3.2 Speedster.
Is that right?
Yes, I was quite surprised with that. given the money people
pay for speedsters
for a speedster. I saw one recently advertised for about $470,000, which is a bit crazy.
It's a lot of money for a $200,000 car.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But
sorry to any speedster owners out there.
Well, not many of them, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a beautiful car too. But yeah, for any prospective investors looking for the next big thing, go to the M491 option 3.2 Carrera.
Sure.
Super rare.
Yep.
So that's my for life car. I've had that for over 8 years.
Yes.
Now. I've done 50, 60,000 Ks ended in that time. It is in good nick, but the paintwork is hammered.
Okay.
Paint chips, stone chips all across the front of it, all courtesy of me. And, on the side quarters on the flares and everything, there's paint chips all over it, and I don't mind that at all.
Look, you know what? I hope you don't fix them, because it means you'll be too scared to drive it the way you have been.
Yeah, well, that's it. I've kind of been tossing up doing it, and whether to do it or not, or even just like a mild refresh, but it's just, it's pointless. I drive it a lot. I drive it out in the countryside a lot, and it's going to get chipped and battered, and that's just sort of all part of its story, really. Yeah,
great. So for listeners not from Australia, to give you some perspective, I'm sitting in Perth, Western Australia. Simon's in Melbourne, which is 3,000 kilometres away from where I am, where we're having this discussion. And when he says out in the country, I assume you mean country Victoria. Yeah, so
correct. Yeah, like at least an hour out from home. We do trips out in the Dandenong Ranges, which are nearby, or
nice.
We play in the Victorian Alps. Is one we do a couple of times a year.
Yeah, it's only a few hours away from Melbourne. There, I understand.
Yeah, but that's more a weekend away thing.
Sure.
And a few trips over to Tasmania as well, where you take a week away.
Yeah, good fun.
Cruise around the roads there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's a great car. It's a good, fun car to drive. Very reliable.
Yeah, great.
Not quick at all, but yeah. Really
I'm sure it's quick enough to fulfil your joy of driving.
Well, it's really quick enough. You can really thrash the pants out of it, and still not be going warp speed.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of low powered, high enjoyment cars myself, and obviously I drive a 356, so that's the almost extreme of that concept. But overall, I get a lot more joy out of driving that than like I did a video review on a 992 recently, and realistically combined the incredible ability of that car with my lack of driving ability. You've got a recipe where you're not even using 10% of the car's capacity, so you've just got to drive so fast to get the same sort of level of enjoyment out of it as the older cars. And that's getting harder and harder for all of us, isn't it?
Yeah. And I probably don't really have as much interest in those modern cars these days because of that. I mean, I'm not going to be able to afford one anyway, but that idea of you'd never kind of find the limits of those cars, at least on the road.
We're certainly not on the road,
Yeah, I think the 997 is probably at the limit as far as driving it hard.
Sure.
I mean, even that's still a very capable car.
Well, they didn't make one that wasn't better than the one before it.
No, that's right. Yeah.
By whatever metric they're using,
Yeah, that's it. So two very different cars behind me, but they share similar traits, and
like the colour.
I can honestly say I enjoy both of them just as much.
Yeah,
they're a very different experience. Even the 997 being a Tiptronic, it's it just has so much grip, and you get all that acceleration, and it's a faster experience than the older one. But I get it just as much of a blast.
Fantastic.
Driving them, yeah.
Now you mentioned earlier in our in the podcast here that you're quite involved in the Porsche community there in Melbourne, and is that through the Porsche Club, or is it sort of through just boys that know each other? Because there's different ways people are involved in the Porsche community, of course.
Yeah, well, it partly through Porsche Forum Australia, which is obviously a forum that a lot of people communicate through. And
I'll link that below. I'm also a member of the Porsche Forum Australia. So so for any enthusiasts that have been living under a rock and don't know about it, I'll link it below.
and they've always got Sunday morning drives. Someone's organising something through there, and they used to do a few organised events as well, like cars and coffee sort of things.
Sure.
They've been a bit quiet in the past few years with everything going on in the world, but it's still a place to meet up with people. And the other group is on Facebook, a group called Classic Porsche Australia.
Sure.
Another great group to get involved socially with other like-minded people. And I'm also part of a smaller group that's kind of like a breakaway group, I guess, from all of that, where we've all sort of socialised over the years and met each other, and then just sort of formed this group of about 20 of us that go away on weekends together.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, it tends to be a bit of a pattern of the people I meet in the Porsche community.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Also, it tends to be a bit of a pattern probably amongst other car clubs too, other brands, just where there are, the formality of a club doesn't actually suit a lot of people. So it just ends up being, guys meet on a regular Saturday morning for a coffee or, like you said, a weekend away once a year or that type of thing,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So go on, sorry.
It's something I didn't really expect when I first bought the Porsche. I 9 years or 10 years ago when I was looking for 911s, it was just really to hang out with the family and go on a day trip away or something like that. And I didn't expect it would become so ingrained in my life now, as with making new friends and driving with people and socialising and the magazine and all that stuff. I couldn't have imagined that was going to happen 8 years ago.
Yep, good one. And if we can sort of go back to the magazine, naturally I'll link it below in the podcast and in the YouTube video for anyone that hasn't yet seen it. How has it evolved to where it is, or did you have some pretty fixed ideas on what you wanted to do?
How it is now is sort of what I wanted originally. I would like it to become more of a platform for other people to contribute rather than me doing all the work.
Yep.
That's sort of the end goal. I don't know whether that'll happen or not. I mean, I started it out more like a blog because I was the one creating everything. It was the adventures that I'd been on, the events I'd been to, and every now and then I'd come across a person that I could write about. But I guess the ultimate goal is to get other photographers on board and other writers on board, because I'm only in Melbourne and I can only service a certain part of the country. It would be nice. Like, I haven't had anyone from Queensland yet, for instance.
Big Porsche community up there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I can't remember. I don't think I've had anyone from Sydney either. 2 guys from Perth, guy from Tassie, a couple of guys from South Australia, a few guys from Victoria. So it is becoming a sort of a national magazine, but I'm very time restricted to be able to really push out a lot of content. You'll see on there that I'd only get an article out maybe once a month if I'm lucky.
Yep.
And that's just because I've got a business to run, I've got a family to play with and deal with. I've got other hobbies as well that often take priority over the magazine, just because I like doing them. So so that's how I would like the magazine to evolve. If it doesn't, I'm not too fussed. I'm kind of happy with how it's going at the moment.
Yeah, good one. Now, if anybody wishes to contribute, they can contact you on some details I'll put below. If they've got something that they've got some ideas or something they'd like to do.
If you've got an interesting car, or if you're into photography yourself, and it could get you some exposure, or if you just want to be part of part of the magazine and the creation of it.
Yeah, great. And I've recently been a beneficiary of a little bit of the magazine merch.
Yeah.
With the t-shirts that you had recently printed.
Oh yes, the t-shirt there that originally wasn't going to be for sale to the public. It was we've got a big event coming up this weekend actually up at Albury Wodonga called Wasso, and there's 170 odd cars that have signed up for it. Mm-hmm. And I thought, it'd be cool to create a new t-shirt for me to wear so everyone can identify who I am. And so I put this thing together and sent it to a couple of mates, said, oh, yeah, what do you think of this? And they responded back, said, oh, yes, get me one. And the other guy said, yeah, get me one. I'm like, oh, hang on, everyone wants one. And so I thought, I'll put them on the Instagram and see if anyone wants it. And, they sold like hotcakes.
I love the almost irony of the, the fact that you guys are based in Melbourne there and you've got the sun and a palm tree.
Hey, we've got palm trees along the beach.
Yeah.
It has more of a Southern California vibe.
It definitely does. It does, yeah.
The original concept was actually, in my head anyway, was with an orange Targa.
Yeah, okay.
911 Targa. I thought that was kind of had that sort of summery sort of vibe, but I didn't have a render of the Targa. This is my actual car.
Yeah, I figured that from looking at my T-shirt, the colour of it, and then seeing this image of your car.
Yeah.
Here in this podcast.
That taught me during lockdown. He I don't know how he does it, but created this render of my car and
that's fantastic.
I made posters out of it and everything, and chucked it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, good one. For people from other parts of Australia and around the world, Melbourne really is like the Porsche capital of Australia for a number of reasons. There's a lot of expertise for the brand there. It's sort of like it was the original home of Porsche Australia when Alan Hamilton first imported the cars. And it's almost comparable to what it's like LA is in the USA for, Porsche centricity, I guess would be a great way to describe it, where, there's a lot of cars there. There's a lot of enthusiasts there. That's not to say there isn't in other parts of Australia, but Melbourne is very much the hub of the brand. So the fact that, that Southern California vibe sort of does have a bit of a reflection there of what life for Porsche owners is like in Melbourne compared to, Southern California.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're right. There's a lot of expertise in Melbourne, a lot of specialist mechanics, particularly for the air-cooled cars. There's a lot of choice out there.
Porsche Classic is based in Melbourne there as well. So if you've got so much money that you can, throw it in rubbish bins and set it on fire, you can also get your classic Porsche restored by them.
You can, although you don't have to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there are still mechanics floating around that were trained at Hamilton as apprentices back in the 70s and 80s. So it's good to have those people.
Yeah, fantastic. I can't help but notice in your garage you've got a few other common interests to what I do. I can see there's a road bicycle hanging up there.
Yes, that's my other passion. Mountain biking and road cycling. Good.
I don't know if you can see, I've got a Tour of Flanders and a Marco Pantani.
The
wall behind me. Yep. So I come from quite a long cycling background myself. I'm one of those kids that didn't grow up.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
there seems to be a lot of good one.
Off my elbows.
yeah. I actually fell off the mountain bike a couple of days ago on the long weekend over here up at the when I was up at the in-laws up in Geraldton. But there seems to be quite a common thread where a lot of Porsche enthusiasts seem to be cyclists.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah, we should be socialising on the pushy as well sometimes.
Yeah. Well, let's. But I'm sure your life, like mine, having a family means that your windows of, selfish passion, that being either cycling or Porsche, you can only stretch that rubber band so far in your life, where you can commit that time. So doing one or the other seems to be, almost a privilege outside of your work day, I find.
It is very much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm time poor when it comes to the magazine as well.
Sure.
If I've got a spare moment, it's like, I'm going to hit the trails and jump on the mountain bike or go for a cruise in the car. So.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely find the late evenings to be the best opportunity for me to do my video editing or anything like that when it comes to, my own hobbies and enthusiasm. And like, to give everyone an idea who's listening to this podcast, we're recording this in the morning. So Perth and Melbourne have got 3 hours time difference. So, I got up at about 5 o'clock this morning so that we could have this opportunity to have the chat, because either now or Simon was going to be up at like midnight talking to me. So we thought this might work better.
I just got the kids off at school.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. All right, then I think we'll wrap it up there. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, give me a bit of insight about you, your enthusiasm for the brand. Loving the magazine that you're producing. Like I said, I'll put all the links that we've discussed below in the YouTube video, also in the podcast description. And if anyone's got any input or would like to contact either of us, I'll also put those details below. And we appreciate you taking the time to listen. So thanks everyone to listen to the first episode of Marc and Car's Porsche Talk. Thanks very much for your time today, Simon.
No worries. Thanks, guys. And thanks everyone for listening.